The one thing that I would have said to all my good girlfriends on this episode is and I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking in. This is actually going to be my review for Real Housewives of Potomac, and it's season 1. This is episode 6. Child, there was just too much going on. Remember, we have Ashley actually invited everybody up to her beach house in Bethany. I think it is Bethany. It was like 3 hours away. I think it took them to drive there. Anyway, like I said in the intro, I would have told all them bitches to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out and get the fuck out now, bitch. That's what I would have really gave them that. But anyway, let's talk about this. We'll get to it. Just hang out with me here. Okay, so first thing we see that sticks out to me, we got a little meeting with Katie, Ashley, Robin, and Giselle. So Katie's trying to get Robin and Giselle on board to help her with this event that she's trying to do. And they're asking her different questions. This bitch is sitting across the table from them, catching an attitude. First of all, I don't know how you catch an attitude and you're asking for somebody's help, and then you're catching an attitude. Like, for real, bitch, who are you? Who are you? Get out of here, bitch. You can't even get the man to get you to want to be engaged to you. So what makes you think you can get anyone to want to do anything else that even involves you, bitch? Really? Get out of here. But she sat there. She was just as nasty and curt. And they're going to tell them, I'm just going to kick you off of my hosting board because we ain't saying exactly what you want us to say. They were giving her cold hard facts. Girl, you only got 3 weeks. You want to raise all this money. Now, we don't do anything that's messy. And, they could be messy. They weren't being as messy as they usually be. They were being really upfront with her and saying, it's not on us, but this is what we do. We have reputation to uphold. If this don't work, please don't blame it on us because we're telling you these are the things that are wrong. But all the time, still say, this is a fucked up situation, but baby, we're going to go on and help you. That bitch went to acting all nasty and basically told them, I don't need your help. This, that, thing, and the other. And they were like, bitch, fine. They kept on eating and went on. But this was like a thing with her throughout the whole episode. She's mad. She's a brat. She's stinking. She literally wants what she wants. And you can tell she's kind of used to getting her way. Girl, nobody give a fuck about you. They on the way up to the little thing. She driving. It's her, Giselle, Renee, Charisse. Yeah, they were all in the car together. Them 4 were in the car together. And they're just kicking it and talking. And they start talking about different things. And then they get over on to Katie. And they're talking about some of the guys that she actually has dealt with. And there's a lot of names keep popping up. Pharrell's name came up. Russell Simmons. And they're like, sounds like she might be a little bit of a hoe. So they're going on with that. And then they talk about her breakup with Russell Simmons. Come to find out, she broke up with Russell Simmons, but she was still living in his house. It was really weird. She's still living in his house and in the guest room and getting all mad. And then she ends up getting all pissed off and then goes on a blog, creates a blog talking about the whole situation. Well, Giselle Googles the blog and they're like reading it and they're laughing. They're like, girl, all right, honey. They ain't being too shady or nothing. Fucking, it's on Google. Honey, she got an attitude about that. Then she pulls the car over. She don't want to drive no more. Oh, she was just ridiculous. She was just absolutely ridiculous. So she had an attitude with them with that. And then once they got up there, she went there sitting having dinner, and she goes off and telling them about how she has an attitude about, man, fuck you, girl. Go about your business. She's ridiculous. She really got on my nerves with this episode. She got on my nerves really, really bad. Really, really bad. Because you got issues. I believe you do fuck with drugs. And bitch, you just tacky in general. So, whatever. Before Ashley and Karen rode up together. Before Ashley got there, Karen was talking back and forth and saying about how some of the girls were going to have to share rooms and this kind of thing and that and the other. You know, she always with her bullshit. And she's talking to Ray, her husband. And Ray is looking at Karen, and she goes and starts talking about how Katie swings both ways. And Ray was like, really? You know, you old motherfucker, right? Like, really? She admits to that, yeah. Then she gonna say, I know you didn't want me sharing a room with her. He gonna say, oh, why not? That could be another thing you get off, take that off your bucket list. Karen looked at him like, motherfucker, don't do it. Don't do it. I said, look, I mean, and he was looking really, at that point, like a real dirty little old man. I said, Ray, get on out of here, honey. I laughed at that real good. So when they get up there, the whole thing, they're in there. There's the accommodations. Karen has the big room. There's like a room that's big, like the master bedroom. She gave that to Karen by herself. She put Renee and Sharice in a room together, and she put Robin and Giselle in a room together. Okay, so the pairing was good with that. The pairing of them was good. But the rooms were petty because they were children's rooms. And they had like single beds and stuff like that. It was whatever. Giselle went on and on and on and on and on about how her kids got bigger beds and this, that thing, and the other, and on and on and on. And it was her, Renee, and Sharice. More so her and Sharice. They went on and they went on and they went on. And, Renee was basically kind of not getting into it, but still kind of in agreement with Sharice. These two whores actually went and started calling around trying to find hotels, which was so goddamn rude. I'm like, it's a beach house. You're going to be there for a week. You're going to have some fun. It's like a little sorority girl trip. It's like an all-girl trip. And it wasn't even meant to be like a luxury. It was supposed to be a fun girls outing. What the fuck is the problem? I would have told them bitches to get out and get out now. Get back in the car and go the fuck back where you came from. I would have. I know I would have. The fuck out my house. Beat it. I thought that was just so out of order. So out of order. Just rude. Absolutely rude. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But anyway. So they had all that go on. Then they show them the next day. Oh, let me tell you about the food. And they had this dinner. And I said, Ashley, what is this shit? They had these folks that came in that did the little dinner and stuff. And the woman come over there and hands her a bill. We're leaving. And hands her an envelope with the bill in it while she's sitting at the table. Where did they do that at? Now, that was tacky. And when they mentioned that, I had no problem with that. That was tacky. Like Giselle said, lady, you're fired, honey. I would have fired her. I would have never used that bitch for anything else ever again. I thought that was very tacky. You could have asked her to come away from the table, or so you handed her the bill at the table, like y'all were at some old restaurant or something. I thought that was very tacky. I think the money situation should have been taken care of before they even did anything. And truth be told, those plates looked like shit that had already been twice chewed and spit on those plates. So she probably didn't need to get paid anyway. Nobody liked the food anyway. They ain't like the food. They didn't like the other shit. And the next day they had a crab boil. I don't know how nobody eat all that shit like that. They had these crabs. They just threw the shit on the table. It looked like shit. Like somebody took a scoop of the sea and threw it on the table. And I was like, oh, they're sitting there eating that shit. I was like, oh, y'all are wearing me out with this shit here. It looked terrible. I was like, oh. But they sat there and they ate that shit like they was having such a great time. And these bitches always jump up. They drink liquor all day. Getting up drinking wine. And champagne. Oh, champagne. Bitch, if you don't get a glass of pop and sit down. Anyway, that's the rich, honey. Yeah, the rich. drinking liquor, a bunch of motherfucking alcoholics, honey, drinking liquor all day. Anyway, but they all shared doing, we're doing the girl stuff. And Robin, see, I told y'all I like Robin. Robin was like, I cannot believe these bougie heifers is calling the damn hotel and all that. That's ridiculous. They ended up apologizing to Ashley afterwards about it. But, of course, Giselle wasn't letting it go. She's being rude. And Katie, I don't think Katie likes any of them, really, except for Ashley. I don't. I don't think she really cares for anybody on this showcast but Ashley. And she probably want to suck her off. So I'm like, she got a lot with her. But anyway, Ashley was just being Ashley. They went surfing, and of course, the bougie bitches didn't get in the water. Charisse, Giselle, and Karen, they didn't go nowhere near that water. The rest of them did go surf. It was getting fucked up out there in that water. They really were. Then they were gearing up for something else out the house. And Ashley, just that poor thing, she just can't get it right. She come walk, she gonna say, "Oh, I told you I didn't pack any underpants, and I got a stain on my dress where my cootie cat was sweating." And she turned around and got this wet spot on her dress. That really did look funky. I was like, I would never invite her over. Never. Your pussy's leaving stains places. Not come over here, honey. See, I got a white couch. I've been and killed that bitch, honey. She run come up in here and leave an old nasty snatch stain on my couch, honey. I have to whoop her ass down. So I thought that was pretty disgusting. Really, really disgusting. If you all wet like that, what is you? Anyway, we're not even going to do that. That's just nasty, child. She should have on drawers all the time. Because you obviously, Anyway. Anti-way. They did this whole little thing where they were sitting around sharing. Yeah, sharing things. I didn't understand that. Because they're not close enough friends really to be sharing stuff like that. But they were sharing things. And, of course, they talked about the divorce with Charisse a little bit. And she's going to tear up her ugly face. And Robin was starting in, and she started talking about how they had a friend, is a best friend, who literally was lying and stealing their money, her and Juan's money, and she started crying. And that's where it kind of ended. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I was really like, what? To hear the rest of what actually happened with their money, and this person stole their money. I said, oh, I got mad for her, honey. I said, oh, kick his ass, honey. Fuck with my money and my damn kids. I get mad, honey. But anyway, so that's basically all that went on with that. Not a bad episode. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. Wasn't all that exciting either, but it wasn't bad. So we'll see them next week. I'm sure we're probably coming close to the end of this too. So it is what it is. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Y'all know how that all works. And I will see you guys next Sunday. All right. Bye, guys.